So you want to make a lot of money online, but you don't want to show your face. Is that even possible? The truth is, there is a good way to do it and a bad way. But the good news is I can show you exactly how others have done it, so let's get started. And make sure you stay until the end because the last step is 100% the most important. First, this seems obvious, but you need to have a product or an offer to sell. Let's say it's a $500 course. Let's rewind and do the math. That means you need to sell 10 a week to make $5,000 a week. Or let's say you have a $100 digital product. Then you would need to sell 50 every single week to make 5,000 a week or 20,000 a month. Now that we've covered our elementary math, the question is, how do you make this product to even begin with? Are we gonna go down this rabbit hole in this video that's supposed to be about making money on Instagram with faceless content, but I'm actually gonna talk about product creation? Yes, we are. I've sold almost $10 million worth of digital products online, which is bananas to say. And my course backend has 46 products in there. So I'm happy to share a high level look at what I do for each and every product whenever I make it to this day. Now, every good product begins with a good idea. And this part can sometimes take months, at least it can for me, because you really need to ruminate. You really need to keep a close eye on what's going on in your industry or the one that you want to get into and look at the trends. What are the products that are already being sold in your world? Take a close look at them and notice what people are actually paying for. This is important. But more than that, look at where you can improve upon. What are the flaws in the products that people are currently buying in your world? I did this exact same thing with my product called Story Vault. In 2019, people were selling ideas and prompts for Instagram stories, but the ideas were random. It was like, what do you like in the morning? Coffee or tea? And as a business owner, I didn't think that they were super high value. So what I did with my prompt product is I brought categories and a system to my now 800 Instagram story ideas. And the product still sells to this day. Now, when you're ideating, whether it's a $100 product or a $1,000 course, you have to make sure that you are solving a real problem for your target audience, something that keeps them up at night because they need to be willing to pay money to be done with that problem. So the key here is to ask yourself, what would make this product offer an absolute no-brainer for someone to buy? In fact, that question is what helped me sell Story Vault, which went on to bring in over $1 million in revenue to my business. At the time, it was 365 Instagram story ideas for only $27. And at that time, a $27 offer was pretty rare and kind of shocking because most people were selling $9.97 courses. So don't be afraid to go against the grain. And again, look at what's happening in your industry and think about offering something different. Now, the second step is to map out your idea or your offer. Put it down, pen to paper, write out all the details that you're thinking, write out what the bulk of what your offer is, what makes it high value, who it's for, what makes it different from other offers that are out there. Yes, you do need to know why yours is different. And if it's a digital course, your course has to solve that major problem for your people. So write that down. Now, when you're planning the rest of your course, the bonuses should address their objections. If people in your industry are typically overwhelmed by the problem that you're helping them solve, create a bonus that helps them cut the overwhelm down. Now, if your people aren't techie, create a bonus that solves that with a tutorial or templates. Or if they don't have much time, create a bonus that gives them the speedy version of your course. Write out the objections that someone has to buying your course and design the bonuses to meet their objections. So far, we have only done planning. Now, the third step of this process is to survey your audience. Now, this might feel like a waste of time or like it's slowing you down, but I found that a good survey is key to validating my offer before I go into content creation mode and even make it. So with my surveys, I like to provide an incentive for my audience to actually take it. So I will give them a prize. I'll draw a name of anyone who takes a survey. And I'll also let them know that I'm actually building something. And this survey will give them a first look at the idea. So everyone's curious, they are going to look at your survey just to get a sense of what you're working on. Now, here is where you don't want to be afraid to outline your idea in full in your survey. Don't worry about copycats. Chances are 99% of people won't put in the work that you're going to, and no one's going to recreate your course in the same vision you have for it. So just like when I launched Story Vault, I outlined my idea bit by bit in the survey. It was very, very detailed. Someone basically saw my plan for my product just by taking my survey, but the results were overwhelmingly yes. People want wanted this product, and it gave me the confidence and the data that I needed to move forward to make it. If you don't have a big audience, it's enough to send out a survey to your former clients or asking your friends and family. Just get it in front of the people who you think would be the perfect buyers for this product. Once your idea has been validated by the survey responses and you can see that this is something that people are interested in, you're next going to move this mind map version of your offer, of your idea, to a project management tool. Yes, even if you are a solopreneur. Brainstorm all of the tasks that you're going to need to do to get this product done and set due dates for everything. This is going to keep you and your team on task. Now, the earlier you think through all of these moving parts and pieces, the more you can involve your team members if you have them. That's a mistake I've made in the past where I wasn't organized, I didn't plan ahead, so I ended up putting all the product creation on my plate. Don't do that. And if you're a solopreneur, this could be a good time to hire a virtual assistant or hire your first team member to help you get this offer done. Now, word of warning here. Since this is a brand new product offer, I recommend creating it on as small of a budget as possible. So don't hire that $10,000 copywriter just yet, just because sales pages aren't in your zone of genius. Do the best you can with what you have and wait for the offer to be validated with paying customers. That's the key, before you invest more money into improving its quality. In fact, the sales you get from your first few customers, that revenue is perfect to reinvest back into the course because now you know it's something that people are willing to pay for. Then you go to work. You build out the product itself plus the sales page where you're going to sell it and collect those sales. That part's very key. Now, you can use funnel software for this checkout experience or a PayPal link, or you can go to the features of your course backend, wherever you are hosting your course, whether that's Teachable or Thinkific or MemberVault. Each one of these software tools has a sales page and checkout page feature, so don't be afraid to use those tools. Last but not least is the launch plan. So you are going to share your newly finished product with a small segment of your audience, maybe a wait list, and you're going to share it with them first. In fact, all the people who took your survey are great to follow up with, so you can send them the product and say, hey, here's the thing you said you're interested in, it's ready to buy. Now, the reason why you send it to a small segment first is to test any checkout bugs or flaws in the customer experience, tech issues, all those fun things. As much as you can test that yourself, it's better to have customers go through the process and tell you when there are issues. Once you've shared it with your waitlist or your smaller segment, then go ahead and share it with your large audience. So send it out to your entire email list, share it with your Instagram followers, post a YouTube video about it, go bananas. You want to get the word out there about this new product. And then once you have your product, you're going to move back to step number 2 of how to make $5,000 a week with faceless content on Instagram, because that's what brought us here in the first place. Your next step is to create faceless reels. Now think of these like those old inspirational quote cards on Instagram from 2016. The visual is important as well as the text on screen because they generally lead you to the caption to read more. Take a look at these examples. You can see that aspirational footage is heavily used as well as inspiring text. Now you can source stock footage like this from an array of services, things like Social Stock, Content Cove, Paxia, and even Canva. Once you've made these inspiring faceless reels, you're gonna do what I call a triple whammy. You're gonna post those same videos over on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts without the watermark. So what I recommend here is to make your faceless reels in a tool like CapCut or some external app. That way you can save a copy to your phone. There will be no watermark. And then with that unwatermarked version, you can share that one video across many platforms. This allows you to get triple the exposure for the effort of making one video. Now, I won't go back into that rabbit hole on editing videos right now because I've covered this topic in depth right here in this video. Now, you might be good with just making faceless reels, but you can take this a step further in your content game by creating other types of Instagram content. I'm talking carousels, infographics, and memes to educate your audience all around your topic. Here's some examples. So the holistic psychologist grew massively on Instagram from educational carousel posts like this. I mean, just look at the engagement on those posts. Who doesn't want a little inspirational therapy in their feed? Plus, I bet these these posts get shared like crazy. Now the account Solid Starts has tons of infographics. And again, these are super savable and shareable, which the algorithm loves. Healthiest Baby, can you tell my feed has a certain theme going on? Healthiest Baby shares expertise through infographic posts, which again, super helpful. So I'm gonna save it, I'm gonna share it, I'm gonna come back to it. This is another way that you can create content that doesn't involve any video creation whatsoever. Now that you have your product and your content strategy, you need to bring it all together with what I like to call DM automation. Automation domination, because you want to send interested viewers who are seeing all your content, your sales page. You want to send them to your offer that you've worked so hard to make, because that's where your sales happen, right? But you don't need to be checking your comments in your DMs 24/7. You can actually set up a software. The one I use is called ManyChat. And this software is automatically going to engage with your followers based on this one key thing. In your captions of your posts, whether it's your reels or your carousel posts, you are going to give your readers a key word. If they comment that keyword, then the automation is going to fire off and send them a private DM message with answers to their questions or a link to your sales page. Now you can make this keyword whatever you want it to be. So in a way, by someone commenting the keyword, it's them giving their consent that they want you to follow up with them. So it could be a link to your sales page. It could be a link to your YouTube video. The options are yours, but whatever is going to help you get those sales, that's what you want to set up in your automations. And don't worry, when I'm talking about automations, I'm not talking about those tools that used to get Instagram accounts shut down back in 2016. Those tools are pretty much gone. ManyChat is an official partner of Instagram, so it's a verified tool. You're not going to get shut down. Now let's do our favorite thing, math, because math is important. Now let's say your sales page where you're selling your product or offer, let's say it converts at 3%, which is industry average. That means you need to have 330 people on your sales page every single week. So let's go back even further, and let's say your Instagram posts get about 50 comments every time you post from interested people. That means you need to post 7 high quality reels or carousel posts to get 350 comments a week, which will open up 350 DM conversations. And at a 3% conversion, you're gonna get at least 10 customers. Now, if you're selling a $500 course, that's your $5,000 week right there. When you look at it like this from this math perspective, it makes your job not so difficult. I mean, making your product is a big chunk for this, but after that, your job is just to create high quality content. Can you create 7 high quality posts every single week? Can you generate 300 to 400 comments from those posts every single week? I think you can. So keep your eye on the prize and come up with that content plan so that you can get your posts out there and continue selling your product without ever showing your face. Now that's not all, because once you have this magical automation system running, you do need to manage your DMs every single day to answer any customer support related questions, because the bot is only so smart, right? The bot can only do what you've programmed it to do in your automation. But every now and then, someone's going to actually type out a question. Hey Elise, is there a payment plan for this? Hey Elise, is there a refund policy? Hey Elise, will this work for me? All the questions that people have before they're ready to make a purchase. So your bot will only take the sales so far. And some people may be able to purchase just when you send them the link to your sales page, but other people might have questions. So never forget, sales are in the customer support. Do not neglect your DMs. Be sure to answer any questions that are there, because those people are on the fence. They are on the edge, ready to buy. They just need their questions answered by a human. Now, if you're interested in learning more about DM automation, because of course, why wouldn't you? Go ahead and watch this video next, where I walk you through this tool step by step.